The Cubs split the series between the St. Louis Cardinals 2-2, and we show some amazing offensive ability in today's game. In today's game, it's going to go down as a home run derby-esque performance, which includes two back-to-back home runs. Jamison Tylan comes out, does his job while we rake up the runs. And honestly, is this the turning point for the Chicago Cubs? Our next game is Friday versus Arizona. And while we do that and wait, we're going to be able to see Shota Imanaga in the All-Star game in his rookie year, and he's going to be able to show us what he is all about. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. This is just another your Chicago Cubs. My name is Justin Winteroth, and we're going to dive into the series versus the St. Louis Cardinals and see if the Cubs have what it takes to possibly win the NL Central. Let's talk about the Chicago Cubs pitching against the St. Louis Cardinals in this four-game series. Let's start off with game one, where we saw a resurgence of Kyle Hendricks. Kyle Hendricks threw 7 shutout innings and also added 3 strikeouts to his stat sheet. He looks like he is ready to be back in that starting rotation. Game two, we see Hayden Wesneski, who has had some quality starts, but also has not. And unfortunately, this game was not a quality start. He gives up a total of 400 runs and 10 hits. Game three, we see Javier Assad, ass man. And unfortunately, he only pitched 2.1 innings, gives up 3 earned runs, and a total of 7 hits. Honestly, I just don't think he was ready to be starting a game coming off that 15-day DL. And right after he was taken out after that 2.1 innings, we had 4 additional pitchers go in the game, and it just fell apart completely. But we were close. Game 4, however, we see the resurgence and retaliation of Jamison Tylan. Jamison Tylan has come in time and time again and shown us that he is a top starting pitcher in the MLB. He does what he does, and it was just a worthy, amazing start for him in this game. I'm so happy and so proud of him. He deserves every rose that you can give him. Though we split the series with the Cardinals, we have proven since our last series that we mean business. Our pitching situation is for real. We didn't have any aces going against these guys by any means necessary, but we went out there, we got some runs, we got some strikeouts, and we split the series. So what that means is the NL Central better be worried for the Chicago Cubs because we didn't even have our best guys out there. It cannot be ignored that the Cubs were just an absolute terror on the offensive side of the ball today. And there were multiple players with multiple home runs. You heard me right. Multiple players with multiple home runs. One is including Pete Crow Armstrong, and two is Christopher Morel. Now, there's two ways to look at this. A is that we just have two amazing players who are just awesome at hitting. And B, what are these guys' trade value? Like that's the skeptic in me. I obviously want to keep both of them, but you also have to think, man, what can I get for these two guys, especially with how hot they are and the trade deadline being about a half a month away? So, along with the dominance of PCA and Morel, Hap and Nito both got home runs as well. So, this totals a home run total today of 6 home runs, which you rarely ever see in an MLB game. And all these home runs were back to back. So, multiple back to back home runs, multiple times the ball was hit out of the yard. And I mean, with that much of an upside, the Cubs lineup, besides Swanson and Bush, all got hits. And that's okay. We are definitely on track to being the best offensive team in the MLB. As always, we got to give a fantastic, huge shout out to our sponsor, Freshie. Freshie, thank you so much for my 4-pack of Blood Orange Habanero. This is my absolute favorite. Everybody, you need to rush to your nearest vendor because this is the drink of the summer. And I promise you, if you don't get yours while the supplies last, you will be sorry. Thank you, Freshie. With the All Star break looming on us the whole week and not having any Chicago Cubs baseball until Friday, let's kind of reflect on the first half of the season, show what are some ups, show what are some downs. I think ultimately Craig Counsell has now a handle on what needs to be done for this lineup and also the starting pitching rotation. I want to give a huge shout out to Kyle Hendricks, who had a very, very poor first half of the season, but has come out and shown us that he deserves to be in the starting rotation once again. That is all. It's just amazing what he's done. I'm just so happy for him, and I'm really, really hoping that he can continue this to the second half of the season. Obviously, the trade deadline's coming up. There's some guys that definitely need to go, some guys that need to stay. In my last video, I said that Christopher Morel needs to be traded. If you're going to do that, now's the time, especially coming off a big day like he had today with 2 home runs. I think that the Cubs are in a great spot. And not only are they going to show improvement throughout the rest of the year, I think that they have a chance at some big things. So let's just keep rooting. Let's just keep being positive. The Cubs are going to do great things. I'm so happy what they've accomplished so far. There's only the ceiling, and they're going to bust right through it. Let's keep going. Let's get some wins. The player of the week has to go to none other than Pete Crow Armstrong. PCA has been a contact guy, a sneaky base runner up until today, where he has shown he's also got power. 2 home runs on the day, and just being an absolute bright spot in this lineup and really showing that not only does he have the base running ability, not only does he have the ability to be good in the batter's box, he is what the scouts describe as a five-tool guy. And I am so grateful every single day that PCA is on our team and Jed was able to realize his potential and bring him up to the main roster and let him display what he has in his arsenal. God, this guy is so good. I'm so happy he's on our team. The fact of the matter is that the Chicago Cubs are one half through the season and they're almost 500. Now, I know that's not exactly where we want to be, but ultimately, we are very, very optimistic and excited for the Chicago Cubs coming towards the second half of the season. The fact that we split a series with the St. Louis Cardinals is huge, considering that we didn't do so well last time we played them. The offense has been absolutely electric. We've won the last 9 of our 12 games, and there's so much to be hopeful for. Do not give up on the Chicago Cubs because ultimately they are going to be a team to fear on the second half of the season. And I swear to you, every single video I tell you, we are going to win the NL Central. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Just Another Your Chicago Cubs. My name is Justin Winteroff, and please do not give up on the Chicago Cubs because this is just the beginning to an ultimate amazing season.